Hello everybody out there all over this big wide world. How you going? My name is Yasmin Boland, for those of you who don't know me or who've just met me. And I'm an astrologer and I'm a Hay House author of books including the Moonology Diary, which is selling like hotcakes. So grab yours before it sells out. Again, it's a limited edition. So today what I thought I would do is I would talk about something you've probably read about in the papers already, which is the Jupiter-Saturn alignment that's taking place this week. And you may have read about it, and it's been all over the papers. If you put in Jupiter-Saturn 2020 into Google, you'll get bazillions of results, including from, serious newspapers like The Guardian, as well as, probably the New York Times. And why is this so? Well, there are two reasons for it, and I don't think I've spoken about this yet on Facebook or Instagram. If I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, but it is like the biggest thing that's going on in the skies right now. And for the end of the year, we've just had the solar eclipse, as you probably know, and now we have Jupiter and Saturn changing signs. Now, this is big, B-I-G, big, because they rarely ever change signs at the same time, because in fact Jupiter takes about 12 years to go around the chart and Saturn takes about 29-30 years to go around the chart. And just as a little aside, if you've heard of the Saturn return, well, as you probably know, that takes place at around about the age of 29. And guess what? Because that's how long Saturn takes to go around the chart and return to the place where it was on the day that you were born. And Saturn is the planet that challenges us, okay? And as it goes around the chart, it basically challenges us in every part of our lives. You might know that in a horoscope chart, you have 12 houses, which all relate to different parts of your life. There's how you come across in the world, there's your attitude to money, there's the way you express yourself, how you are with your family, what's your idea of fun, your daily life routines, love, sex, travel, career, friends, and spirituality. So Saturn will test you in all those parts of your lives from the day that you're born to when you're 29 or so, and you get your Saturn return. So Saturn is the planet of challenges and tests, who shows us how resilient we are or not. And one of the things about the Saturn return is that because you've then, by the age of 29, 30, you've been tested in every single part of your life, you kind of know who you are, you know what you're made of. And that's why I think a lot of astrologers, I definitely feel that, for one thing, I'd never, ever suggest marrying anyone who hasn't yet been through their Saturn return, because that can change a person. And as well, it really is when we become an adult, okay? So that's Saturn. Now, Jupiter is the lucky planet, okay? It's the planet of good luck, lady luck, auspiciousness, good times, positivity, optimism, cheerfulness, expansion, improvement, amplification, and to some extent, freedom. And so Jupiter's like the lucky planet, basically, in a nutshell. And so they're very different energies. You have, the expansive good luck of Jupiter, and you have the hard lessons and limitations of Saturn. So to have them both changing signs this week is big, big news. And like I said at the start of today's live, for those of you who've just hopped on, because I can see you all there, hello. You're going to read about this in the mainstream media. And if you want to read about it in the mainstream media, like I said, just Google Jupiter-Saturn 2020 and there's a wealth of information. But let me summarize it for you. Astronomically, okay, now I'm an astrologer, not an astronomer, but astronomically, what's happening is, in fact, they're changing on, Thursday, so tomorrow and Saturday, changing signs, Jupiter and Saturn respectively. And then on the 21st, they're actually going to what's called conjoin, which means they're going to be in the same place, the same spot of the zodiac. Now, the reason why all the papers are writing about it is because they have not aligned this closely for, are you ready? 800 years. Okay, it's the closest they're going to come together for 800 years. Now, on the one hand, it's quite a good thing because Jupiter is the lucky planet, the planet of positivity. So if we can kind of infuse the Saturn energies with that goodness, that will be a good thing. What is not so great is that Saturn, well, Jupiter is the fun planet and Saturn's the fun buster. It's the planet that goes, don't stop having fun. Not don't stop having fun. Don't stop having fun. So, you know, how this is going to play out is kind of interesting. Now, I have always been told that there is no such thing as a bad Jupiter transit, but sometimes even a good transit has its tricky side. So I'm really hoping that, I do fear slightly that Jupiter-Saturn is going to mean, at least for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, I know down in the Southern Hemisphere you're all sorted, but we're all still in lockdown and can we see our families and friends for Christmas and all that. I'm a bit worried it's going to mean more restrictions over Christmas, which will devastate everyone, including me. We've arranged to see various friends over the Christmas period and I'm so excited, but you know, it may well be that Saturn's going to bust our fun. We have to wait and see. Fingers crossed. Let's hope that it works the other way, that it's actually going to be that Jupiter takes the edge off. So astronomically, what's happening on Saturday when they meet up? It's the closest they've been for 800 years. So fingers crossed for a good outcome there. Now, what about astrologically, which is really my domain? So astrologically, what's happening is so they're both moving into the sign of Aquarius. And before you tune out and think, well, I'm not Aquarius, so that doesn't apply to me, let me tell you. As I'm always saying and trying to explain, we all have Aquarius somewhere in our chart. In fact, I've actually created a free mini guide, which I've linked to above, which will help you to understand where in your chart Aquarius is. And I know people think, no, I don't have Aquarius, no. And I always, when I say things like this, I get emails, you know, in the few hours that follow going, I've looked in my chart and I definitely don't have Aquarius. It's like, no, everybody has all 12 signs in the chart. That's just how it works. So if you want the mini guide, that will tell you. But what it's going to mean is therefore that everybody is going to be affected in a different way. Okay, so it may be that you're going to have Jupiter-Saturn going into, say if you are Leo rising, then Jupiter and Saturn will be moving into your love zone, for example. So, you know, what's that going to mean? It's going to mean it might be moving, some people will be moving into their 10th house, which is their career zone. So they're going to have the lucky planet and the hard work planet in their 10th house of career, or it might be moving into your 3rd house, which is basically how you think. It's your mind, it's your mental health, and it's how you express yourself. So one really good thing to do is to have a look and work out where Saturn and Jupiter are going to be for you in the coming, 12 months for Jupiter and 2 years for Saturn. Now, astrologically, this has not happened since 1405. Okay, we have not had Jupiter and Saturn aligning in Aquarius since 1405. And you know, it's the start of a new era for sure. And the other thing is, for those of you who started to learn astrology, you might understand that, you know, now what happens is that Jupiter and Saturn will continue to conjoin for the next 200 years in air signs, whereas they've been conjoining previously in earth signs. So the times are most certainly changing. So I would strongly recommend that you find out where in your chart this is all happening. As I said, the free PDF up there will tell you, so please be my guest and grab that. And then what you need to do is you need to think about, okay, so this is where it's affecting me. And then you can see where you're going to need to work hard, because the way to appease Saturn is to work hard, okay? That's the way to appease Saturn, work hard. And working with Jupiter is easier. That's just, it will flow. But basically, wherever Jupiter and Saturn are going to be for you is where you're going to get in the next, 12 months especially, and throughout 2021 especially, challenges, lots of challenges, and rewards for your hard work, because Saturn is the challenges and Jupiter's the rewards. And also just remember, next year Saturn is going to be making a series of rolling clashes with the planet of chaos, Uranus. So the more you know about this, the better. And I've just remembered, for people who are watching on Instagram, I do have a short link, because the description has the link for Facebook, but in Instagram, the link for the free report is, I think it's moonmessages.com/JS 2020, JS Jupiter Saturn 2020. So there we go. So Karen's saying, how do we find out? Oh, is it not showing up? Let me see. Well, try. I'll fix it up after I've finished chatting. I'm going to do a card in a minute. But try moonmessages.com/J for Jupiter, S for Saturn 2020. I'm pretty sure that will work. Otherwise, there's a link up there. But apparently the link's not working, so I'll fix that up. So there you go. So what about if today we ask for a card for what we need to know about the Jupiter-Saturn connection? How about that? Monique Sweeney is saying my Jupiter and Saturn oppose each other in the chart. Well, that's quite good, because, you know, you're probably a really hard worker. It's probably good for your bosses anyway. Or if you run your own business. Who's for a card? Yes, for a card. What do we need to know about Jupiter and Saturn? What do we need to know about Jupiter and Saturn? What's the message from the heavens to us about Jupiter and Saturn? Oh, right, that's an interesting one. A personal issue reaches resolution. So I'll just look at the guidebook for that. Full moon in Cancer. All right. Okay. All right. So basically what it says is it's going to be an intense time emotionally. And that's not surprising, because Jupiter always turns up the heat and Saturn challenges us. Basically, Saturn is like that teacher at school. I had one, Madame von Bibra, shout out to Madame, who, you know, pushed me. She really pushed me. And I really cared what she did and what she said. And she was the one who helped me end up doing French, she was my French teacher, at HSC, which is the equivalent of A-levels, the end of high school in America. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have done it, because she pushed me. And that's what Saturn is. And Jupiter turns up the heat. So it is going to be an emotional time. If it hadn't been for Madame, I wouldn't have done French at university. If I hadn't done French at university, I would never probably have gone to live in Paris. And if I hadn't have gone to live in Paris, chances are I wouldn't have met my husband. And if I hadn't have met my husband, we wouldn't have our boy Louis. So, you know, it all works out in the end. She pushed me. She made me feel sometimes, sorry, Madame, if you see this, I don't think she does Facebook, but, you know, sometimes I felt bad, because I thought, oh, I can never be good enough for Madame. And in a way, that can be what Saturn is about. Like, how can we ever be good enough for Saturn? Because Saturn pushes us to be a better person, a better French speaker, a better writer, a better gymnast, whatever it is that you're into. Saturn is going to challenge you. And wherever Saturn is going to be in your chart now that they're moving this week, that's where you're going to be extra challenged, okay? All right, this indicates a time when, family issues need to be dealt with. Well, that's interesting, because I'm pretty sure that 2020 has brought a lot of family issues up for obvious reasons. So, and the additional meaning is the card is stop sulking. So no sulking, and meditate to soothe heightened emotions. So I think meditation's always a good thing. All right. Yeah, so I'm going to end with the chakra clearing chant, just to help us all get our chakras in a row. I've got a big work day today. I'm editing my 2022 diary, would you believe? If you don't have this one yet, that's the Moonology 2021 diary. It's got all sorts of things, all the information about all the new moons, you know, that's the times around the world, and then interpretations. It's all very exciting. Monthly overviews, so you know what's coming up in the month ahead. And it's a limited edition, and it's sold out the past 2 years in a row. So make sure you buy your copy, and also, dare I say, it makes a great Christmas gift. All right, let us end with a chakra clearing chant. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Hari Om Nam Lam Mam Vam Sim Ram Vam Yam Yam Ham Shiva Ram Swaha. That is such, I was saying the other day when I did my Written in the Stars for Aquarius Rising, that is such a clever chant that's come to me from my teacher in India, Sri Shakti Narayani Amma, because basically it combines all the seed mantra sounds for the chakras with the mantras for the elements. So you do that and you bring yourself into balance. We're still doing our chanting. When we stop doing our chanting for the coronavirus, whenever it's finished, it's to keep us all, help us stay safe in the coronavirus. And I think when I got the coronavirus, it was actually during the period when I stopped doing the chanting. I wonder if I would have got it if I'd have been chanting. Who knows? If I had it, I still don't know. I never got a test. But anyway, after we finish that, I actually think we might do the chakra clearing chant for a few months. So I am doing the chanting as well, just so you know, at 10:30 a.m. every day UK time. That's about 9:30 p.m. Sydney time, I think, or maybe 10:30, I'm not sure. It's about 5:30 in the morning in New York. Sorry about that. And you can find the link for the chanting on my Facebook events page. We're getting more and more people every day. It's really great. And after that, I think we're going to try and do the chakra clearing chant. I'm going to do the chanting we're doing right now. We're going to do until the day before Christmas Eve. And then I'm going to just take some time off from getting in front of the camera. All right, so lots of love. Get the free report in the link above. I will double check it to make sure it's working, and find out where Jupiter is going to be taking place for you. And remember to read your rising sign if you know it, because you will get a much more accurate prediction about what to expect next year. All right, lots of love.